Hello, welcome to the what I think is the penultimate part 13, lucky for some. Yeah, we're just going to finish off texturing the house again. It's very simple texturing, very simple texturing. It's not going to win any awards, but it gives you an idea of what's going on. And then in the next episode, the final one, we'll just talk about rendering in the camera. So for now, let's fix a few issues that we have with this. Firstly, we have this. If we go into edit mode, this face here is the wrong material. So we need to fix that. We'll just go into material preview. So this face here needs to be the bricks. So again, we select it. We can see it in the UV editor over here. And if we, again, add a new material, and we're just going to use this bricks material. So we'll just select bricks instead of clicking new. And then obviously click assign. And these are bigger, but we don't want to edit the scale, because if we do, you'll see the scale is edits on all of it, and we don't want that. So we just simply need to scale up the UVs, so make the UVs bigger. So just over here, press S and eyeball it. I think that's about right. So now that's done, we just want to, the window frames and door frames should not be made out of bricks. That's not, doesn't make sense. So we're going to do, I've tried several ways of doing this. I always find several ways of selecting, and then I finish it and go, well, there's probably a quicker way. So I think I found the quickest way. So what you need to do is select the house cube and then press the solo key. My key presses aren't on. Karnak, I think that's what it's called. Hey, yep, there we go. So we're now just looking at this. And if we press 1, press tab to go into edit mode, and then press Alt Z. If we go into, if you press 3, actually we'll do isometric. So click that, and now we are directly in the side view. So with faces selected, as I say, if you press Alt Z, it's this icon. Doing that is the same as Alt Z, and we go into X-ray mode, which is important because it's a good way of selecting a lot of faces. And in X-ray mode, if we just do this on those window shapes, and we'll look at the extras, and then shift click to get the next one, and then shift click to get the next one, and then I've done better with those, shift click to get the next one. So have a look what that's done for the front, and then come off isometric. Okay, so that's almost selected everything we want. I'm going to hit Alt Z again, go back into it. I'm not sure what's happened with the new version, but if I press 3 before, I didn't need to be in isometric view to see it exactly from the side like this, but I don't know why that's changed. But now you've got to be in isometric to see. So I've just missed some areas in these windows at the bottom, so I just need to make sure that I'm get out of isometric, Alt Z, make sure that I've got all of them. Yeah, okay. And now it's just simply a case, press C to get this selection tool, middle mouse, and just delete from the selection all the faces. And again, if you want the middle mouse to be a bit smaller so you don't hit more than you want to, there's fan. So and to get out of this mode, you press you right click the mouse, and then you're back out. So C to go in, middle mouse to delete from the selection, left click to add to the selection, and right click to be done when we are done, because we're not. Okay, that'll do. Seven butchers, couple around the side. We don't want, as I say, we just want the windows. And then if we just shift click all of the window panes like this, we'll sort the door out in a second. I've missed something here, so I'm just going to make sure that's selected. Okay, so now we just have these frames selected. So as usual, in your material properties, click new, click the plus button. Don't add a new material, because we're just going to use one of these wood materials we made, either or, and then press assign. And then if we go back into render mode, we now have a tidy little frame for our windows, don't we? And I'll show you now one of the ways to do what we just did, but it's a lot slower, is the way we'll do the door. So because, again, these loop cuts, all of these four edged faces that join will be a loop. So if I press Control and R, here, the loop is going all the way around the back. But if I press Control and R here, or just move it over here, you can see the loop just goes around. So if I double click that, I'm selecting that loop. If I double click that, I'm selecting that loop. I've got a loop in here and a loop in here. So the slow way of doing it was to do that with all of them, but thankfully I found a quicker way. But we are going to do it that way here. So just double click these loops, and we only need those. And then again, click on that, click assign. I don't think we've made a roof yet, a door, have we? No. Okay, there we go. So we've got our bits. So if we now, let's just sort out the door. We want to click on this face and again assign it to this material. See if that works. I'm just going to turn off my overlay. Is there a different one? I think there's a better one. Material for assign. That'll do. Yeah, perfect. There we go. So now we've got a door. Okay, if we press our solo button again, we'll get back to the top. Right. We could just make a little doorknob. So if you shift right click, remember, puts the 3D cursor. I need to put my overlay back on. So shift right click puts 3D cursor there. Shift A to add. We're going to add a UV sphere. We're going to shrink it a ton, like this. And because when I right clicked, it put the center here. So the center point, half of this is in there, half of this is out. So we just want to bring it forward with GY. Make a new material. I'm just going to make a very quick bronze material. Give it a kind of orangey color. That's pink. A bit darker, and then bump up metallic. Bosh. It doesn't matter that it's not smooth. We'll get into that later because this is far away. You see? Who cares, man? Who cares, dude? All right. So is there anything else? And as I say, I remind you, this is a very, very, very simple model and some very, very, very simple texturing. You're not going to win any awards with this, but this is just the quickest and basic way I can give you the ideas to get to this point, having something that's modeled and textured. I think what we'll do for our last couple of minutes, there's no point starting on the camera and rendering in this one. We'll do that in the next one. So what we're going to do actually is just going to put a couple of frames. So if we shift, let's go back into edit view, shift right click on one of the windows, press shift A, and then add a cube. And one useful thing in this menu here, you've got all these options. If you click random, now every object you add will have a different color, which is quite useful right now. So we've added our cube and we're going to scale it down, and I just want it very small. And then once that's done, I'm going to scale it on the Z axis like this, and yeah, it's in the right spot. And I'm going to Alt D to copy to clone this, and if I press Alt D, I want to rotate this on the Y axis because that's going forwards and backwards. So I want to rotate it on the Y, so I press Y by 90 and I press 90, enter. It did nothing. Why didn't it do anything? I didn't. Right, shift D, enter, rotate on the Y by 90. Thank you. Okay, so just press shift D, then press enter to show you a duplicate. Shift D or Alt D. I actually press shift D, and I'm just going to bring that forward slightly so it's not overlapping faces. Or maybe I can go backwards. I'll go backwards. There. Okay. Let's just make that. That's kind of central, I think. And now, a quick way of putting these windows all over the place is to just click one of these, add a modifier, So go into your wrench, add modifier, mirror. And if we use the house as a mirror object, bush, it's going to appear over there. And then we can just select this one, shift select the one we've got the modifier on, and then object, link, transfer data, copy modifiers, bush. And then if we grab one set, go into front view, and then Alt D, and we're copying both because we're also copying mirrored ones. We're going to have to bring these forward or backwards. So just nip to the side, G, Y to take it back on the Y axis, and just press it against the windows. What we're going to have to do is move them slightly apart. As I say, everything is being mirrored. And if we press Alt D, X to move it on the X, we'll just bring these ones in. And then they look about the same as them, so we can just Alt D and move them down on the Z axis. And then we're going to have to move them back on the Y axis. Clink. Doink. Is that? Yeah, it's kind of central. And then these four are the same as these four. So we will just select everything here and then Control select the building. So now we've only got these selected. Alt D. Again, we're cloning. None of these are different, so they can all be the same. And then move these back on the Y axis once more. Too far. I went too far, man. Alright. And they're going to be... I don't think they're going to have the right material. No. So, just to quickly finish that, click that. Because these are all... Oh, I need to fix these. Because these are all duplicate clones, once I add the wood material, just by going down here and clicking that, they all receive it. Same for that one. They all receive that material because they're all duplicates. So clearly, I'm just going to select all of those, Control, make sure I've not selected the building, and move them back some more. They weren't back far enough. And there we go. There is our Georgian house. So, yeah, we're going to leave it there. It's 11 minutes. The next one, we're just going to finish the whole thing, talking about the camera and the render. But for now, we will leave it there. All right, jabbly jabbly. See you in a bit. Bye.